What the science is, good people. This is the first and actually the beginning of the content creation for CoolStonerNerds.com and the Cool Stoner Nerds YouTube channel. What's up, man? I'm Doc Gatsby, your curator, your Cool Stoner Nerd originator, and I am here to talk about what an amazing fucking episode 1 we got with Loki. There are a million stoner moments and points I could talk about throughout the whole show, like no cap, like so much amazing shit happened. But today I've got 5 strong stoner moments that while I was gassing up last night, watching it at 3 a.m. because, you know, that's what a real cool stoner nerd would do, is what I noticed. But first, before we get into it, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like and then the subscribe button to stay in tune and constantly stay notified by hitting the bell icon to make sure you're notified for every video that we upload. Now, with all that being said, let's get into the top 5 stoner moments from episode 1 of Disney Plus's Loki.
Sir, please put down the spear.
Alright, so stoner moment number 5 is obviously the world building. This episode, and though comparisons should be very limited, took great strides into building the future of the MCU very quick. And I mean very quick. To be real, I'm actually impressed. The introduction of the multiversal war blew my mind, because if you're familiar with the scoopers and the rumor mill that come with the Marvel content, then you should already know that a lot of people are saying that Secret Wars is on the horizon. I would say the episode 1 of Loki segues into that very well. I literally dropped my blunt when I watched this scene. When the robot, or the robot with a face, was explaining the whole multiversal war, and then the potential of throwing the multiverse into madness, or when they're speaking about Nexus beings, obviously they're foreshadowing Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness. And I feel like they're also giving up a power boost or an importance boost to Wanda Maximoff herself, because it's already been revealed in WandaVision that Wanda is a Nexus being. So with that being said, I'm very impressed by the world building and how quick the world building came with Loki, because it took a good second for WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier to reach the stages that encompasses. And I'm very impressed, man. Big tokes to that, big gas to that. Let's move on to the next one.
There was one time when we were children, he transformed himself into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes. So I went to pick up the snake to admire it, and he transformed back into himself, and he was like, "Yeah, it's me!" And he stabbed me. We were 8 at the time. Big
stoner shout out to the man Michael Waldron. If you're not familiar with Michael Waldron, he is a screenwriter and a producer known for his work on Rick and Morty, which makes a hell of a lot of sense considering what could potentially be convoluted time plots in the Loki show. If you're not familiar with Rick and Morty, which every cool stoner nerd watching this should be, though Rick Sanchez does not directly deal with time, they do deal with a lot of multiversal plot stories and a lot of just out there theories that only somebody that worked on something like that could do with Loki, because Loki's gonna have a lot of time multiversal theories running around in the show as well. Michael Waldron is also a writer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which means that everything's gonna be connected very well, since it's coming from at least partially this man's brain. Let's be for real. Some of the most, not the most, but some of the most solid Marvel Cinematic Universe movies come from somebody or somebodies that wrote the story over multiple movies. Let's talk about the Russo brothers with Winter Soldier, with Civil War, with Avengers Infinity War, and Endgame. I feel like those are some of Marvel's crowning jewels because of that. So I'm glad that they got the boy writing for Loki as well as Doctor Strange. You could tell by the humor pace and the actual randomness of it as well that this was written by someone who's worked on cartoons where the editing is a bit more seamless between punchlines and character interactions with said jokes. I feel like this is something that Loki will continue to get better with, but the shit's funny as fuck. Like, the show is funny as fuck. It has its serious ass moments, it has its tension building moments, but come on, man. Like, the robot metal detector scene was fucking hilarious. The scene where after dude gets evaporated and Loki like starts frantically searching for his ticket, fucking hilarious. The interaction between Miss One-Me of Lovecraft Country fame and Loki was funny. The interaction between Owen Wilson's Mobius and Mobius character in Loki was classic. I could tell that's gonna be a funny buddy cop classic interaction throughout the series. I'm very much looking forward to it. Big ups to the man Michael Waldron. So, Stoner moment number 3 to me was very pivotal for the story, and it's simply because that I feel like Loki is meant to lose so far. Like, the time heist is part of the plan. Thanos' destruction, the whole blip, was part of the plan. And that's crazy to me because obviously the timekeepers see that in the sacred timeline this is supposed to happen, but for Loki to win, it's not supposed to happen. Thanos is supposed to crush his throat in the Avengers Endgame, and that's the end of the story. And I feel like that really goes a lot closer to where we're at with the comics versus the cinematic universe, because obviously villains are created, and even Loki said, I'm a villain. And though Mobius said, no, you're not, you don't have to be, I don't see you like that, these comic book villains are just plot devices. So I feel like Loki's starting to finally realize that, damn, like, am I a plot device? Because they even said, like, you are here to make sure that people reach the greatest versions of themselves. Thor, the Avengers, I mean, by comparison, even Thanos wouldn't have been able to do what he did without Loki, mischievous as he is, stealing the Tesseract from Asgard in Thor Ragnarok. So I feel like that shit is pure gas, baby. Like, I feel like it makes everything so detrimental and bigger, which this is a quick point, but goes into my next point.
Avengers, assemble! Oh, terribly sorry. I was caught up in the moment.
So it would appear that if we're going where the story leads us, Lady Loki is the killer. I feel like on top level story that this is what they're alluding to. This is what they want us to believe from the jump. This was mentioned early. Mobius says that there's a variant causing a disturbance, and this is indeed a variant of Loki. This is interesting to my high ass because the rumor mill has been churning this all out during the lead up to the series premiere. The actress Sophia DiMartino is casted, and there has been sightings of her in similar wardrobe during the shoots. I personally have not went on IMDb or any website like that to see what character they have Sophia DiMartino listed as, but I mean, come on, like, let's go ahead and just throw it out there. It's pretty much obvious that she is Lady Loki, especially if we've seen her in photos from the shoots in similar outfits as the killer at the end of episode 1. In the comics, the deceased Lady Sif, who used to run with Thor, is who Loki took the form from, and that's when, you know, we got Lady Loki. I think this would be an interesting thing to see, a gender fluid version of Loki, especially the interaction between the two, wielding the dual blades, shooting quips at each other, and just really going in on each other during that time. But all of that being said, leads us to CoolStonerNerds.com final stoner moment. Are y'all ready? Let's get into it. All right, motherfuckers, let's get the rumor train running. And we're going to talk about one character in specific, Kang the Conqueror. K-A-N-G. Now let's get real. During the scene where they first mentioned murders happening to the TVA, and they also mentioned stab wounds consistent throughout the murders in the past, the first thing you or the regular viewer would probably think about was Loki. He wields two blades. Lady Loki wields two blades. But the only thing that popped up in my high ass mind when I was watching the show last night or this morning was Kang the Conqueror, and the picture of him kicked back, one leg over the other, balancing a blade on his finger. Now, there were very obvious hints alluding to people like Kang or Kang himself. I mean, if we look at the all-powerful timekeepers, they have the headdress, all of them have the headdress that look just like Kang. In fact, one of the timekeepers looks similar to Kang. Now, in the comic books, there was a time where Kang played with time so much, other versions of himself started popping up in the timeline, but for the purpose of this particular story, let's call them variants. Now, also during the comics, there was a time where Kang started eliminating all the other variants of himself until he came across two other versions, which he felt like he could not beat on his own. What did he do with those two other Kangs? He formed a council. Timekeepers? Let's go further. I feel like this is going to become a story about the origin of Immortus and Iron Lad, young Richards himself, Mr. Kang the Conqueror. And I feel like this is going to be explored throughout the content coming in the MCU and Disney Plus series, including Doctor Strange and Ant-Man 3 Quantum Mania. It's been said that Kang will be the big bad for the new Ant-Man film, played by Jonathan Majors of, once again, Lovecraft fame. Salute to the homie Jonathan Majors. So keep an eye out. Personally, we here at CoolStonerNerds.com does not care if this ends up becoming a Mephisto type of bluff like they had in WandaVision. Because if you remember correctly, after WandaVision, they started leaking out more things that didn't make the show, including the Doctor Strange connection, that he was the one sending the dreams to Wanda, the commercials that you saw, and also how in the season finale or series finale episode, the dog, Mr. Scratchy, Senior Scratchy, was supposed to turn into a fucking demon. These Mephisto references weren't necessarily unwarranted, and I feel like we're gonna start the train right here, right now, for Kang the Conqueror being the secret big bad of not only Loki, but some of the shows and movies following. So everybody, all the Cool Stoner Nerds here, let's welcome Kang the Conqueror to the smoking circle. All right. Now that we've went over the top 5 stoner moments of Loki, episode 1, I want to thank everyone that's watched this video and show my appreciation for everybody watching the first episode of something that I feel like will be so epic, including the website CoolStonerNerds.com. I want to let you know that for the first 100 subscribers, we have a contest. The 100th subscriber reaching our channel that subscribes to our channel will get a very special CoolStonerNerds.com gift pack delivered to you from us. So please make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell so you get notified every time we post a video. Now go ahead and smoke one and hit replay on this video as well as Loki on Disney Plus, streaming now and dropping every Wednesday. We will be back with y'all last every week to talk more about all this dope Loki content, plus all the dope Marvel content coming soon, as well as other cool stoner nerd shit. Until then, make sure you follow the boy DOTGATSBY on all social media, as well as Spotify, iTunes, and all those good streaming platforms, because I do music as well. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the dope stoner nerd shit that you love. So until next time, it's your boy Dot Gatsby, and I'm Ghost. Peace.